it live.
It's
Push it live.
I can't
do it live.
I can't handle his levels
do
today.
it live.
I've been live every day since last Thursday.
No, that's woke. You've been woke.
Other
live
than Sunday. Sunday we were off for Father's Day.
Let me pull this down just a little bit. Hey, look at that. Moving in real time. Whoa, look at that. Oh, no, a little bit more. Hey, oh, what to do?
I can't handle him today, guys.
We had a good launch, guys.
We did. Welcome to all of our new HAA students.
Including you two little stinkers who snuck their way in after our pages didn't update and close.
We had two little stinkers. They slithered their way in after the cart was supposed to be closed. So
I closed the cart at like 12:20 in the morning, and apparently it didn't take.
Yep.
So we woke up to two more people. Stinkers.
You little stinkers.
New camera? Nope. Exactly the same camera.
Guys, happy Friday. I thought that we'd do something interesting today. Handmade Alpha Academy's closed, so you guys are free from my marketing for 6 months. I only sell something twice a year, so congratulations. Now you just get all of the Starla Alpha goodness. But for our current Handmade Alpha Academy students who just joined HAA, I did want to give you a heads up that I posted a video in the student campus. Some of you have emailed me and said that you got charged for E-Rank when you should have gotten it for free. That's because we haven't had time to get everybody switched over, and we can't control when your actual billing cycles will be. You'll be refunded. So
it's not actually on our end. The people that are going to get charged, because we do control some of them, the free guys won't get charged, obviously.
Yeah.
We have to wait for Anthony Wolf to be able to actually get in and do those. So please don't get mad at us. You will get refunded if you get charged your E-Rank.
Yep.
Anyway.
We're working through them. There were a lot of
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're working on it.
For everybody else, hi. How have you been? How's your week going?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? We are going to be showing you guys a couple brands that I like to follow for marketing inspiration. And I was going through, because there were a lot of brands that came to mind when I was creating this list. But I went to their websites and I realized that their websites are nice, but their social media lacked. And that's not what I want to showcase. I want to showcase brands that really have a good social media presence, because it's almost like if they've developed their brand on social, then their website is also going to be good. And these aren't Etsy shops, guys. These are going to be not giant brands. I mean, a couple of them are pretty big, but most of these brands are, smaller that you might not have heard of before, or they're very niche. But what I really want to show you guys, and especially our Handmade Alpha Academy students who are working through the target market exercises, these are going to be brands that have fantastic examples of very defined target customers. These are brands who know exactly who they're selling to. I know a lot of you who just joined HAA are really concerned about niching down and finding and defining a target customer. But the thing is, and that I keep saying in the HAA group, is that by having a defined target customer and knowing exactly who you want to sell to, you are not alienating people who don't necessarily look like or act like the people that you have targeted. You're not alienating anybody. And today's going to be a brilliant example of that, because what you're going to see are a lot of really great brands, and you might not necessarily fall into their target market, but I guarantee at least one of the brands that you see today, you're going to be interested in, you're going to go follow. I recommend that you actually go follow all of them, just because you can learn so much from them, even if you're not interested in their products.
Unless you're the kind of person that scrolls Instagram every day and you don't want to stink up your feed with stuff that you're not interested in, then don't do that.
Yeah, but really, I'm a person who will follow a brand even if I'm not interested in a product, just so I can study their marketing. And I learn so much from it. I join email lists for products that I'm not interested in, just so I can experience their marketing. That is a big, bold business move that I think that everybody should start doing. Just don't get yourself too caught up in a lot of people who sell within your industry. And I know that that sounds counterintuitive, but it's almost better to have a bird's eye view where you're studying both people within your industry and people who aren't in your industry, simply because you can learn a lot from having that variety, and you can find new ways to apply tactics to your brand for your industry that maybe nobody's thought of before. So, yeah.
Nope.
We'll add it to the AlphaDAP to-do list. A Bubber shirt.
Bubber shirt, yeah.
Oh. Do you guys want a Bubber shirt?
Do we need a Bubber shirt?
Do you guys want a Bubber shirt? If you guys are interested in buying some Alpha Adapt merch, I don't shout out the brand enough, but we do have an Etsy shop linked down below where we have Alpha merch, and that will help Amber while she's coming to see us in Ohio. Okay, Bubbers, you're making my life hard. I've got them like tucked under my arm like a football.
Whenever you're ready. If I jump up randomly, it's because I have packages that need a signature today.
That's fine.
So
that's fine. All right, first of all, guys,
whoop.
Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Starla, the letter K, and more. I've only got 4,300 followers, and I've got to have 10,000 to do links in my stories, which is something I've been trying to achieve for a while. So come follow me.
Wes said I want a shirt with Mark's face on it, but it's going to be a cartoon version of me doing the Ahegao face.
That's a terrible idea.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
All right, so today we're going to be going through some of my favorite brands, and I'd like to start with a brand that I doubt more than a few of you are familiar with, and that is Cloak, which is Jacksepticeye and Markiplier's brand that they created, what, 2 years ago, a year ago?
Something like that. I think we're going on 2 years now.
Yeah, it's a fairly new brand. They've got a huge audience already. They're both some of the biggest YouTubers in the world, which makes sense. For those who are unfamiliar, they're both gamers. But I really love how they do their marketing, and they're very witty. They've got this whole campaign where they say, text us, and they give you a phone number, and then you're nervous. You're like, text you? What do I text? And then you can it's a way that you can opt into their mailing list. But
it's a mobile mailing list. They'll send you a text. Every time they do a collection launch, they'll send you a text. It's 2 separate texts now. They'll have some kind of story explaining something, or the mystery or something, and then they'll give you a link to click on, and it'll be their collection. And
it's really important for fans of their brand to do that, because if we go, let's see, can we go to their link in bio, go to their brand, and then we look at their...
Ooh, they're doing pastels right now. I might have to get me one of those.
Let's see. I'll grab Jack's. Yeah, sold out. We'll go to this collection.
All sold out. There won't be any. I think that's from newest to oldest.
Yeah, I'm purposefully looking at stuff that's sold out because it just shows how fast. If they've got products, look, there's some things that are available. Basically, their stuff sells out in minutes, and people will join their email list to make sure that they know when something new is going to come out, so that they can buy it and make sure that they get the design that they want. This is all playing into that scarcity tactic. When I talk about big brands who do collection launches and those collection launches sell out, this is an example of a big brand that does collection launches and those launches sell out. And another thing that I really love is how they make sure that they are always using a unique theme for their collection launches. They're all cohesive. Jack's last collection launch was all Celtic, and he did a lot of like Celtic knots and things. And then we scroll down. They did a Alice in Wonderland type collab. We scroll down again. This was a collection that they did for Earth Day. We scroll down again. This was for April Fool's Day. So they always have a theme for everything that they do, and they make sure that it's cohesive. They make sure that the branding is cohesive. And even when you go to their website for these collections, we'll go to whatever.
This, I think, is the most recent one.
Yeah.
It's all sold out.
It's all cohesive, same backgrounds. Everything looks really nice. Yeah, so Cloak is a really cool brand to study for marketing. I highly recommend following them. I love watching some of their little videos and things that they do. I think that they are on the extreme when it comes to marketing. I don't know how they're able to keep up with everything that they do.
They also just do launches constantly. I'm getting text messages from them like once a month.
Yeah. But I think that is probably one of the best case scenarios for a brand that has a viral clothing company that really, I mean, it's print on demand. They have I think they've got their own feel to their shirts.
So Cloak, it's not necessarily print on demand. They have a very specific facility that they go through. Remember when they did the video for it? They have a very specific company that they go through. It is technically a print on demand, but it's not a company that and just anybody can go with. They do specialty high-end clothing. Cloak makes good clothes.
Yeah. So check them out. I love their brand. I love their marketing. I love watching their collections and how they do their backgrounds and things. They did this one all ocean, and then they did a bunch of underwater photos for it. I thought that was really witty. You can tell that they didn't spend a whole lot of time like overly editing these. They're just kind of fun.
And they stole that from a meme.
Did
they? Yeah. Remember that meme with the dude that in the pool?
Oh yeah. They just kind of keep everything.
It's cool.
Everything fun, everything simple. So, all right, that was Cloak. If you want to follow them on Instagram, that is Cloak Brand, spelled C-L-O-A-K, not C-L-O-K-E. Next up is Secret Wood. I believe that I've talked about this brand before.
It'll be easier if you just close them.
Secret Wood, they do really cool resin rings.
Yes, they do.
I've actually ordered from this brand before. It took around 4 months for the product to arrive. Their customer service wasn't fantastic. I still follow them on social media and I still plan to buy from them again. But, well, actually, to be honest, we found some Etsy shops who do a better job.
Yeah, there's quite a few Etsy shops in Russia. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Russia and Ukraine. I just placed an order yesterday.
Yeah. So, but I love the way that they market their products. They do a lot of neon glow in the dark. I'm not a big fan of these rings. It's almost like the product that doesn't fit with what they normally do. But
that's probably their most popular sellers because, I mean, most people don't want to wear a big gaudy ring like that, you know?
You're right. But their photos are fantastic. They spend a lot of time doing their photos and making them match in these particular scenes. You can see some of their concept sketches, and you can see more of these on their website, how they wanted to create these little tiny universes within their rings. And they've got turtle shell pendants that are shaped like little turtles. Turtle. It's just a really good example of how you can show off products without just shoving products in people's faces. They do it in a way that is very engaging. I want to look at their products. I don't feel like I'm being sold to, especially for things like this where it's just, I can almost get lost inside these little worlds. And then I realize, oh, it's a ring. Oh, they had a video. Where'd it go? There it is. That's so cool. So there you go. How many times a year would you launch a new collection? That's completely up to you. We cover it in HAA. I know that you just joined HAA, but typically, brands will do smaller brands will usually do a seasonal collection. That means one per season, so 4 launches a year. Big brands like Cloak, they've got to launch something new almost every month, every other month. It just depends on what you're personally capable of. I was once caught in the trap of launching products every single month. As a single person making products, that can be very difficult.
Yeah, it's a little much.
Yeah, I recommend doing like 4
I need to get
a year.
I need to get one of these green glowy rings for my show because their green is like almost the same green that we use for ours.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
They're really neat. So anyway, guys, check out Secret Wood. This is another really cool example of a jewelry brand. They're not one of my favorites for social media marketing. I'm more impressed by their photos. I'm very impressed by the way that they take photos.
I like the way that they show their products off. It's always done in a very tasteful way. In a way that makes sense.
They haven't posted in a long time, I'm actually noticing. This is February 5th, and then this one is 20 weeks ago. So it looks like they haven't even been super active.
No, it looks like they stopped with their Insta. What was their most recent? How often was their most recent one? February 5th. Yeah.
That's interesting. Wonder if some Etsy shops who are doing a way better job of doing what they're doing.
Yeah, there are quite a few Etsy because these guys' prices are pretty astronomical.
Yeah.
I hope they're not. I mean, they can't be struggling.
Right.
I mean, they've got with over 500,000 followers. There's no way they're struggling to make sales.
Well, maybe when this other brand, when you get your thing that you ordered,
we'll check it out.
We'll shout them out too. All right,
they probably won't be around very long. Their whole brand revolves around Lord of the Rings, so
you're right. Next one, Kill James Patrick. I really enjoy this brand. They do classic New England style. This brand is one of those companies that knows their target audience. And you know, the more that I look at it, the more that I realize that they are insanely cohesive in a way that captures that like the American dream lifestyle. You know what I mean? Of living by the beach and your whole family is dressed in their little cute matching clothing. They've just got this really cool aesthetic about them where I wish I lived here. And Mark and I live in Ohio. We don't have beaches. We don't get to have the New England style. But
yeah, they've got a very like controlled, chaotic kind of feel. Like you really do have to stop and look for a second to see what you're looking at. But that is very definitely the style.
The station wagon, driving down to the shore. It's so feels. You can feel it. You can see it, and you know exactly who they're marketing to. You can look at their products, you can look at their pictures, and you can envision these families. I really love their brand. Their products are very expensive. I was going to get myself a sweater in the fall. They do really beautiful, what are they called? I can't even remember the sweaters.
I don't know.
Fair Island sweaters, Fair Isle sweaters. I was going to get myself one in the fall, and they're like $120 to $160 for the sweater. Their fall marketing is my absolute favorite, though. I love following them in the fall because they capture the colors that you're not going to see in a lot of places other than the coast, the New England area. We don't, even in Ohio, we get colors, but we do not get colors like this. It's really cool. I love their brand. I love the way that they cater to the seasons. If we scroll up a little bit, we get a little bit of that really warm, cozy home Christmas.
Dulcie said New England products in general are expensive. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that the like Northeast United States is like pretty extremely expensive to live in. I did tech support for Maine, and those people made serious. I don't even know how they made their money, but they made money.
But you can really feel who they're trying to capture. And like I said, remember when I said that just because they have an ideal target audience, which is, you know, this girl and this guy and this girl, these are their ideal target customers. I don't look like any of those people. I don't live in New England. I don't have this look, but I love their products and I really want some. So being specific doesn't necessarily mean that you're alienating people who don't look like this. It just means that you are being cohesive in everything that you do and really sending a message about what your brand is about. So Kill James Patrick, highly recommend checking them out. Check out their website too if you want to see like some premium pricing for relatively average products such as sweaters. I really enjoy their brand, but I love their marketing even more. And it's all lifestyle. You guys notice that there aren't a lot of pictures of just a sweater laying somewhere. Mm-hmm. It's all people wearing the sweaters and doing things in the sweaters. And not everything is the sweaters. We've also got just the picture of the station wagon and some flags with the coast.
Brand imagery.
Exactly. Things, but it all fits, right? It all ties together.
They're channeling Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, there you go. We'll have to go up to Put-in-Bay this year. It's kind of got vibes like this.
Yeah.
You've never been.
Yeah, I have.
Put-in-Bay? No,
I thought
haven't.
so.
No, never been to Put-in-Bay. I know you haven't.
Next brand is one that
actually a bigger brand, yeah.
I talk about a lot. I talk about Aerie nonstop. They are owned by American Eagle. What I love about Aerie in particular is they really fought hard against Victoria's Secret in a very subtle but bold way. Everybody knows that Victoria's Secret used. I think that they're going to be ending it now because so many people have fought against it. But Victoria's Secret used their angels, very airbrushed models, very very skinny models. They did their runway show. If you look at any advert from Victoria's Secret, you see highly airbrushed models. Aerie decided that they weren't going to airbrush their models. So if you go to their website and you look at their clothing, you're going to see very normal looking women with stretch marks, with real bodies. You're going to see blemishes, and a lot of them have skin conditions, and it makes you see exactly how these pieces are going to fit on different body types. You see pregnant women, you see bigger women, you get to see belly folds, uneven skin. It's exactly what a brand should be doing if they want to cater to a very normal audience. And I absolutely love what they've done while also keeping things very trendy. If you guys notice, remember I talked about during our spring video how brown was going to be a big color this summer. And look at these little touches of this very almost mocha coffee color. And then we scroll down and now we're getting that green. This product isn't green, but the background is green. This tablecloth is green. This background is green. She's wearing green. They're very good at using like subtle colors.
And they don't force. A lot of people are talking about all the different models in here, and they don't force it either.
Yeah,
like they're not intentionally just trying to show people that have problems or are abnormal.
Right.
They're mixing in a little bit of everybody.
Yeah,
and that's what makes them respectable. They're not like everybody has to have something wrong with them. They're like here's somebody that's overweight. Here's somebody that's just like total like average in every way. Like
right.
I like that about them.
And there have been a couple brands that I've seen that have done a shift where they only will use, I don't know the correct word that I want to use here. They only use models that aren't the typical skinny girl, we'll just say.
Yeah, they forcefully only will use like an overweight model.
It comes off as being
try hard.
Like you can tell that it's not necessarily that they're trying to like do a message. It's almost like they're really pushing it in a way where I feel like it's not genuine. It's
not genuine. It's very disingenuous. Very, very much so.
What I love about this brand is they can have, their skinny beach models.
Yes.
But they don't do is airbrush out all of her moles or something. You know what I mean? It just, these are people. These are real people. She's skinny. She has a real body. She's got little moles and things. She looks like me.
Yes.
And that is what makes them really cool.
It's the natural look. No matter the size or shape, it's natural.
Exactly.
And that's what I like about it.
And
it's not doing it for the sake of doing it. It's doing it because they're actually trying to portray people the way that they look.
And if you look in their comments especially,
they get love.
They get so much love, especially on Facebook. Instagram, I think, is a little different, but Facebook ads from Aerie, I love getting Facebook ads because the body positivity in those ads is fantastic. And people will say, she looks like me. I want to buy from you because your models look like me. So Aerie's one of my favorite brands to shop from. I'm wearing some goofy Aerie pants right now. I buy all my leggings from Aerie. Mm-hmm. They've got a whole line of bras and things that are their bras actually aren't the best, but for everything else, I'm a big fan of their brand in general, and they're one of my favorite brands to study for marketing.
Their leggings are bomb.
Oh, their leggings are better than Lulu. I always say Lululemon, but that's a cheap one. Their leggings are better than Lululemon.
The only difference being is Lululemon's leggings are thicker, and they're going to be gym booty safe. They're squat safe. That's the thing. Whereas Aerie's is a 50-50 shot. They're not. A good majority of the Aerie ones you wouldn't want to squat in the gym.
Squat safe.
They're not squat safe.
You guys, for anybody who goes to the gym, do you have to do the squat test before, like the squat in front of the mirror test before?
And I go to the gym. I could tell you what brands aren't squat safe. It's about 90% of them aren't squat safe. Or do yoga in front of the mirror safe.
Yeah. But I pretty much wear Aerie's leggings every day, so be sure to check them out. They're one of my favorites.
She said, "OMG, get yourself a tall mirror and do just like the like stretch in the hamstring stretch, where you like, put your legs out to the side and do that, and then just look between your legs at the mirror. If you can see the universe, then don't wear those to the gym.
I mean, unless you don't care, but I care.
Most people care.
I care
Some gyms will kick you out.
I care. I don't want to see the universe, and I don't want anybody else at the gym to see the universe. Speaking of the universe,
I tell it, and then so we could colonize Mars.
I know, right? Anyway, you know what, you guys? I'm sure
safety tips from Mark.
Safety tips from Mark. He's my universe checker. I'm like, hey,
am I?
You make sure that it's that I'm not showing more than I want to show. All right.
Get a kick out of this. I love you guys.
See the universe.
It's about the most politically correct that I could make.
We got to keep it classy, guys.
Got to keep it classy.
Anyway, Vasquez chocolate. Oh my God, if you guys want to get yourself something good, something amazing, something that you're going to feel super fancy, if you ever want to celebrate, for those who joined HAA, when you finish HAA, I tell you guys to go eat a cheat meal, go have something bad for you, order yourself some Vasquez. It's expensive.
It is painfully expensive,
but
man, is it
so good. Vasquez chocolate is top tier.
Decadent.
It is so good. They are a fantastic example of a brand who knows their audience. Right now, they're doing maybe they're not doing the astrological. Oh, no, I guess it is. They've been doing this really cool astrological theme with their chocolate. It's just so cool what they do with their marketing. And when you order from them, you start getting physical mail. I love getting their catalogs. It's not even...
Yeah, they actually send you how companies used to in the olden days.
Back in the olden
where candy companies would actually send you a full catalog of chocolate.
And their catalogs, it's beautiful. The photos are beautiful. I get color when I do my trend videos about trending colors, I get a lot of my trending colors from Vasquez's catalogs because they're so good at doing their photos.
Jessica said, "Oh my God, I'm checking every pair tonight." I thought that was common knowledge that you were supposed to check that, because if you don't realize, gyms have fluorescent lights, which will make slightly transparent clothes about 10 times more transparent. So if you have a fluorescent light, aim it right at yourself while you're doing that, and I promise you'll know right away.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
I've never been one to really care a whole lot, but once I realized how much that could be seen in some of my leggings.
You can see everything. So with cheap, it's mostly Aerie, because theirs are thin and comfortable. If they're thin and comfortable, people can probably see everything.
Anyway.
Aim it at the universe and you'll know. Exactly.
Look at these photos though. A brand that sells chocolate. But we've got almost it's got these witchy vibes. How cool is this? For chocolate, guys, it's chocolate. We've got, look at that, Grateful Dead. Chocolate.
Oh, I didn't know they did a Grateful Dead collection. That's awesome.
They did all different, every one of these is a different color too.
If there's any Deadheads out there that are sad that you can't see the Grateful Dead anymore, look up Dark Star Orchestra. They play the shows that the Grateful Dead played on the day that they played them. I've seen them 6 times in concert.
We've actually had this truffle. You can get gold encrusted chocolate with little gold sprinkles.
Their chocolates are just fantastic. Their advertising's great.
You can get
their boxes. Their boxes are so cool.
It's so good, guys. I highly recommend checking out Vasquez. If you order from them, you will. That's beautiful.
On the burnt wood.
If you order from them, the whole experience is amazing. The box that it comes in is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's got that like real skin texture to it. Like it's beautiful.
Depending on what you order, there's like sometimes there's a big purple ribbon that you have to undo. You get tons of inserts in the package that tell the story of the chocolate, how you're supposed to eat the chocolate. The whole experience ordering from them is amazing.
Yeah. And I'll reiterate the not cheap part of it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to buy like one of the bigger boxes to send, these are the kind of things that you like send if you can't go to a wedding. Like somebody invites you to their big fancy wedding and you can't go. This is like the thing that you send them like, hey, sorry, I couldn't come to your wedding. Here's this $65 box of chocolate.
Yeah. They do an Easter collection every year with little Easter eggs and things for like grown-up Easter gifting. I love their brand. These are delicious. We've had these before, the caramel chocolates and these marshmallow ones.
And I know it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that we're showing this kind of stuff to Etsy sellers, but it's all to kind of give you inspiration into how you can frame your things a little bit different than just taking a picture of your stuff.
Exactly.
What's the spelling? I can't see.
It is
Vosges. Vasquez. Vasquez. Hot chocolate. Haut.
Chocolat.
Chocolate.
I believe that they are a German company. You want to go to their? You're going to go to their website, aren't you?
Yeah. See.
Look, pop-up email list.
Pop-up email list. They've got a chat thing now too.
Instant 15% discount, just like we talk about.
Yeah. See, like 30 pieces of chocolate, $100.
Yeah.
But it's exotic truffles. Look at all that fancy chocolate.
No, we can't.
A little hibiscus leaf on there, you know.
Maybe
matcha, salt.
Maybe we'll order some Vasquez and eat it live during a live stream.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Next. Holskern.
This brand will stalk you if you check out their social.
Oh man, the watch you got me is probably one of the most beautiful. I need to get another one of their watches. If
you look up this brand on social media, their targeted ads are so good that you will constantly get targeted ads from them. I still recommend you do it. I love getting their targeted ads. Holskern is a German watch company that utilizes wood and real stone. I bought Mark one for Christmas a couple years ago. I mean, they're expensive, but they're not as expensive as some.
Yeah, they're definitely not bougie prices.
Right.
For like a handmade watch, they're expensive. But I mean, for a watch that's made out of wood with like hand cut marble, you can get for like $500. That's pretty up there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for $500.
So their photos are beautiful. If you sell jewelry, I highly recommend that you follow them. They don't just sell watches. They also sell marble and stone pendants. Their atmosphere that they create makes you feel like you are in the woods. God,
look at that.
They don't only post pictures of their products. They post photos that create.
Look at this one.
That create their entire atmosphere. It comes in a wood box when you order it. I love their marketing. Like, look at that. Look at
Kitty. Let me see this for a second.
Yeah.
You scroll too fast and I'm trying to
show them the box that they come in.
It looks like they almost always do like 2 watches and then a light. That's exactly what they're doing. 2 products and then
a lifestyle.
Yeah, a lifestyle. It looks like they just started doing that.
Pop this one open. I want them to see the box that they ship in.
Yeah, they make these boxes too. They're not like super fancy boxes, but they smell wonderful.
That's so beautiful.
You have to be careful with these though, because they are wood. So like if you wash your hands or you go to the restroom, you have to take it off beforehand. You don't want to get it's not like a treated wood. These are like hard raw woods. They're sensitive to moisture.
But they've got a really cool logo, very cohesive branding. We see a lot of that dark green. They use a similar filter on all of their images. I know a few HAA students had heard me mention if you filter your products, you should find a similar filter to use. I think that this is a really great example of a brand atmosphere. This is the product that I want.
Oh man, you want it?
That redwood
for you.
That redwood watch. I'm very indecisive. That's why I haven't ordered it yet, because there's a
75 or 6 of them. I'll surprise you.
Okay. And he's sweet.
And I love this. I love that. I don't know why they switched to doing it on the left, but they've always done this. They have a lifestyle in the middle to split up their watches. Every single one. When did they actually switch? Because there's a couple times where they goofed up and it got like off. I guess they just didn't do a very good job of making it look not like a lifestyle photo. But they've always done that. Product, and then in the middle, lifestyle. So when you're scrolling through, see, that's where they goofed up, is right here. They posted 3 in a row, and now it's on the left, and they've goofed their whole feed up. I like it. I like that idea. Because it does, you can kind of ignore the middle, and it doesn't get too hectic with just products. Yes.
But guys, this is one of my favorite brands. I know I've said that about a lot of them, but in terms of if you want to follow one of the brands that I actually pay continuous attention to, I look at this brand almost once a week because I've been...
I do. I actually do too.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to get another one of their watches forever.
Yeah. Look at this monochrome photo where they've...
Is that not the watch? That's the watch you bought for me. That's the watch I have.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the watch I have.
The Manhattan. Yep.
Yep.
That's your watch. That is your watch. With
It's
white.
beautiful. Actual visible rubies.
Yeah.
It's Holzkern. HOLZKERN. Holzkern.
And for those who are watching the replay, I will be putting these brands in the description below. They're just not down there.
And they have all different cuts of watches. They have thick bands, thin bands. They've got chain bands. They've got all different kinds. Do you think the lifestyle ones are stock picks, or do they hire photographers? This is an actual German company, and they're pretty high profile now. I would imagine they're probably photos that they've taken or submitted by people.
These are stock. I've seen these before, but
it could be. If they are, they're something that they've paid for.
No, what I'm saying is, or what I'm trying to say is that when you guys are doing your own photos, this is a good example where they could find, I'm sure that they've taken a couple of them, but where you guys can find photos that are stock that already kind of fit the filter, or you could filter them yourselves. Find a photo that fits your brand, and then, they've got the photographer listed.
Yep, they've got the photographer listed. So they're tagging the actual photographers for everything that they do. They're probably paying for the pictures.
Or shouting them out and giving them fans.
Yeah, that's true. It is a big brand. How many followers is Holzkern up to? I gotta go back again.
Yeah.
There we go. Almost 170,000. That's a lot for a watch company. That's how I do mine. One regular photo in the middle. I think that's how I'm gonna do the band Instagram too, in my private music Instagram. I really like that as an idea.
Yeah,
some like over the top inspirational crap that you throw on there.
This would be a really cool thing to do if you didn't want to use stock photos to maybe shout out another brand, while also building a really cohesive image for your own brand. So
somebody should message them and tell them, "Hey, your feed got screwed up."
Oh, I'm sure
they probably did it intentionally to kind of change it up a little bit,
balance it out. Now.
Hendrix Gin Co.
You will start getting targeted ads, but like I said, if you like studying marketing, that's probably a good thing.
This particular one is going to demonetize this video, unfortunately.
Probably.
Alcohol.
Hendrix did something very intelligent. I read an entire story about Hendrix and immediately began following them after I read the story. So, for many, many years, gin fell out of style. Nobody wanted gin. Gin is nasty. Gin became a drink that nobody really wanted anymore.
Because it's yucky.
So Hendrix decided that because there was this really bad association with gin, they started advertising that their gin tastes like roses
and
cucumbers. And that was their whole marketing scheme. Roses and cucumbers. And they did their branding and their marketing in a steampunk style. They blew up. And I was suspicious. We don't drink, and I definitely don't like gin. We had Hendrix and lavender lemonades.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best drinks I've ever had.
It was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
Um,
They did it. It was a lavender liqueur and Hendrix gin. It was wonderful.
Hendrix took a failing alcohol that nobody liked anymore, and they turned it sensational. It's
It's because there's a lot of cheap gin out there, and cheap gin is gross. Like, it's disgusting. And they actually make good gin, like not cheap $5 a fifth gin, and it actually tastes good. But most people don't buy expensive liquor. Like, most people, that say they like whiskey, they're like, I like Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels is not a good whiskey. It's a cheap whiskey.
Yeah. And Hendrix is one of those brands now that's getting referred to. I actually noticed when I watched the 50 Shades movies. It was the gin that Christian requested, and he's supposed to be like a billionaire. That is a good impression to put in somebody's head, just like with the Twilight movies and Volvo. Suddenly Volvo sales went up. Having a movie utilize your brand, especially for an expressive character, that is huge. Hendrix is one of those brands that if they hadn't done this whole cucumber and rose and done this really witty marketing, I don't think that we would have seen them get as big as they did. And now, next time you guys go somewhere, if you drink, Mark and I don't drink, but we'll have the occasional, sip of something if we're out at a nice fancy dinner. If you guys go out and you see a drink made with Hendrix, try it because it's a pretty cool thing when you think that it's going to taste one way and it ends up not tasting the way that you thought.
That one right there. That looks good.
These photos are beautiful. They also do these, like, look at the background and the
little badger and feller
and the little praying mantis. They have this really cool art.
And they went really old school with their bottle too, doing like the tonic style bottle.
Yeah,
I love it.
Like a little, like almost like something that you'd see in like an apothecary cabinet.
It's a tonic bottle.
Like. It's so fun.
Like Ryan Reynolds' gin and his marketing.
Aviation.
Yeah, aviation.
Yeah.
We didn't choose that one specifically. I mean, they've got a multi-million-dollar actor behind them, so of course they're going to be popular. But it's good too. It's good gin.
Yeah. So check it out. Check out their brand. Check out their photos. There have been a lot of studies done on Hendrix in particular because they've revived a product that nobody wanted and turned it into something that is now very, very upscale and fancy. So I highly recommend taking a scroll through their social media and following them. I really, really love just the way that they've done everything. And you know what I just realized is I believe that they have 2 pages, and I think that I am because I just realized I'm not following. I think it's because I found the Spanish version of their page when I was looking because
this is definitely in Spanish. And the pictures are probably exactly the same though.
Me do.
That's You are showing. You are showing off people that you are friends with. Can you switch it to main screen when you're doing that, please?
It doesn't matter. Their profiles
privacy issue. Really? Because that was just.
Oh well, that was a mean page. There we go.
Okay, now switch it back. Freaking goofball.
Anything, Instagram's going to give you suggestions. That's not stuff that I follow. Those are just things that...
That's a suggestion? What the heck is wrong with your Instagram? Good Lord.
This is their US page. And this is what I was looking for, because they've got this Lunar Gin. And they redid a lot of their branding to have this dark blue.
It is weird that the Spanish one has more advertising. It has drastically more, because if you go... This, I think, was the most recent picture on the Spanish one. I'll even just go back. Yeah.
Well, then that would mean that this one is more updated.
But this one has all of the cartoons and goofy stuff.
This one does, too.
This one does, but not anywhere near as often. This one's just got people tagged. No, they don't have hardly any of it. Like, now we're down to this part, and they don't have any of the cartoony stuff. So that's cool. They're targeting... I don't know why they wouldn't do this for their English speaking audience, because they would get a kick out of that too. But that must be something that's popular there because they're very obviously targeting their audience.
Priscilla said that I tried it after reading the 50 Shades series. The moon looks like from the 20s. Oh, yeah. It's got that. Look how cute.
Like that hand carved clay.
Oh, wow.
I've watched this actual advertisement.
This is so cool. We're so going to get demonetized, but that's okay.
Yeah, whatever. But, yeah, Lucy, it was a Spanish one.
Yeah. The UK one is so much more in your face British.
She was talking about the Spanish one. It was Spanish.
Huh.
Oh, good.
Well, guys, check them out. Like I said, even if you don't drink, their marketing is very entertaining. It's very cool how they've put together this really cohesive look. They're one of my favorites. All right.
There you go.
Pen Gems. I know a couple of you guys are familiar with Pen Gems. I think that Pen Gems,
you think that they pronounce it Pengums? That's why they have a penguin there?
Pengums. Oh, I think you're right. I think it's Pengums.
It's Pengums.
Is it Pengums or is it Pen Gems?
Pippin approved. Oh, so that's just their person. They're their feller.
Pengums would make more sense. I say Pen Gems. I love how they do their story highlights with the crystals. This is a cool brand that has taken something that is very average. It's a pen. It's just a pen.
Real quick, Dulcie was saying something in here talking about paying artists. If you're going to use this, something that she brought up, if you're going to use someone's images on your Instagram feed, first of all, always ask permission. Absolutely always ask permission. Also, just like she said, don't automatically assume that they're gonna want to get paid, or they're not going to want to get paid and just have exposure. That's up for them to determine, so don't make the assumption. Some people will get kind of offended if you offer to pay for their image. So just ask them if you can use their image and credit them, and they will tell you whether or not you have to pay for it. I have had even people take pictures at shows that I've played where I've asked them for the original images and they flat out said no. So just be polite. Anyway, continue. Sorry, I felt the need to address that because I didn't want to give anybody bad ideas.
Charlie said, are you going to link the shops later? Yes.
Yes, they'll be in the description when we're done.
Yeah, in the replay. They're not down there right now because we're live. Okay, so like I was saying, this is a really average product that we really wouldn't think a whole lot about, if someone said I sell pens, but their marketing is absolutely phenomenal. Look how cool they did the neon. Oh, this is a user submitted video.
That's pretty cool. They were going for that cyberpunk vibe.
Yeah, neon lights. They take beautiful product photos. And this isn't hard to achieve. This wouldn't be difficult for a seller like us to do. They're not doing anything that's so crazy that we as sellers couldn't also replicate some of these looks and some of these aesthetics. They also keep things very cohesive.
Very, very, not like intentionally not over the top. Very, very plain on purpose, but it's all very cohesive in that way.
They do the rainbows. They've got, here's all pink. Looks like it might have been for Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. Here's that splash of purple. I love the way that they take their photos. It feels very achievable as a smaller brand. To me, this feels like something that an Etsy shop owner could absolutely do if they were, creative enough and had the time to put together these scenes. But some of these, this is simple. This is just some little craft store leaves with a photo of the product. This is simple. This is just a video. It looks like they
were walking around and moving a light.
Or a fan. Have a fan going real slow. Matching fingernails.
Artsy.
Very artsy.
Artsy
fartsy. They have a raving community though. There are actually pages that are just about following their brand and groups for people who use their brand. I think that they have like their own little group of collectors.
How do they break the images up into split images and the patterns is never disrupted? Do you guys have an idea how they do that? Do they post 3 pics every day?
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah, more than likely they're posting in orders. A lot of brands will do that. Some brands will do like they'll post the same color for like a month,
Yeah,
and then they'll switch the color that they're doing.
yeah. I would assume that they make sure that they're posting in threes, which would be easier if you had like an automatic scheduler. What I don't like is the brands that will do one big picture that's made up of all of the squares, because as I'm scrolling through Instagram, like through my timeline, I'll get like a foot and then I'll get like a nose and I'll be confused. And then if I go to their feed, I can see that they're trying to make
like a whole person.
Yeah. That I think that looks really cool for like, if you want your feed, your actual profile to look cool, but in a timeline, which is where a majority of your audience is going to be seeing your images, it just comes off as being a little bit more confusing. It used to be really cool back when it was a new thing, but now it's kind of, I think it's been worn out.
Yeah, they said they have such 90s vibes. I think they started to try to appeal to the cyberpunk, because even though cyberpunk got some pretty negative feedback, it's big in the news, and because of that, it's starting to get really big in kind of like pop culture. The neon 90s vaporwave kind of thing is starting to pop back up.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Canva has little filters like these too. All right. So that was either Pen Gems or Pengems. I'm not sure. They've got several pages. I don't even know if this is their official, but there's a bunch of different pages that they have. So, all right. Next up. Oh, okay. So Spirit Hoods is a really cool brand, but I want to show you guys something interesting. I am way down in their feed.
Yeah, we're way, way down at the bottom.
Way down in their feed. Now, the reason that I'm way down in their feed is I want to show you what their target customers and their branding used to look like and how they've changed it. So when I first started following Spirit Hoods, which if you haven't guessed, they make fuzzy animal hats and fuzzy blankets. They used this filter.
This specific type of photography. They were going for the naturalist, woodsy, outdoorsy kind of crowd.
Adventurers, you see a lot of like dogs and huskies, especially in their blankets. You see lots of outdoor photos. This guy, this very Viking looking dude, is in a lot of their photos. Mm-hmm. You get a very specific vibe. But what I think ended up happening is that I think that they realized that their target customer had changed. And this is really, really important for HAA students. So listen up, okay? They targeted people that looked like this.
Woodsy, outdoorsy folks. He's still in their ad photos.
Yeah.
They still occasionally post this kind of thing.
But they started only targeting these outdoorsy types of people, And what I think happened, and this is just speculation, but I believe that what likely happened is they started seeing that it wasn't these, outdoorsy people who were buying their products.
Nope. They're people that, I'll let you continue.
It was people who were a little bit more on the like pop culture kind of rap scene that were buying their products. So,
or
raves, yeah. Like
it's they very much started appealing more to the kind of crowd. It almost seems like they're like comfort blankets and things for people that do acid and stuff like that. Like, not serious. I mean, go up to the actual top. It very much seems like the rave crowd, the hardcore psychedelic crowd.
So take it in before I scroll in. Take a look. Make sure that you've got the idea. I'm getting like Game of Thrones, Viking vibes from the. This is a beautiful photo.
Yeah, it is.
So we've got these vibes. Now let's go to their more recent marketing and how they've changed. This is from like 3 years ago. So let's big scroll. Now
it's we party. We like to party. We like to go to raves. Like
colors, they found what sold.
They did. They reinvented their target market based on who they thought they were selling to.
We still get a couple. of these kind of outdoorsy pictures, but it's not.
This is still very obviously not trying to appeal to the outdoorsy kind of guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is like the party goer, the rapper, the raver.
Exactly. They changed, and it's also very on trend with our 90s themes. They did a lot for Pride Month. It's just that's cool. They did a Cruella themed. But they went with what their audience wanted and what they noticed that people were interested in.
Yeah, the EDC crowd. It's a mix of like EDC and rap crowd for sure.
That is an interesting. They did like a robe and did like the boxing, like the boxer robe. That is so cool. But like I said, it's a really interesting thing to watch a brand that you follow evolve and adapt based on what the audience wanted. Spirit Hoods is not a product that I would have ever imagined to fit this scene, but
it did.
But it did, and they're a huge brand.
And they blew up because of it.
Yeah, and obviously their brand values are that it's all artificial fur, cruelty free.
It looks very realistic, though. They did a very good job with their furs, making them look real. They're not.
Their products,
as far as I know, unless they've changed.
No, it's all
100% fake faux fur.
10% donated to save animals. Their products are very high end on the price scale. These are not cheap.
It's just one of those things where we wanted to show you because it goes to show that you may not have the correct idea for who your target market is.
And that's okay.
And not to be afraid to shift it if you start getting a specific crowd or a specific type of person that's constantly buying your product and you're trying to sell to somebody else. You might need to try to cater more to the people that are buying the product.
Exactly. That's why we talk about in HAA, that whole plan, adapt, evolve. You plan, but then you need to be able to also adapt to changes and evolve to fit those changes. Right. So
let's bang out the last two. We're already we're at an hour in. We need to start getting to questions soon.
All right. Next one, Grounds and Hounds. We bought some Grounds and Hounds coffee at Whole Foods. We bought their Alpha blend, obviously because it was called Alpha. And then I read on the back of their bag that they donated money to save dogs. So I decided to follow them on Instagram, and I was very pleased with what I found. They have the cutest feed. They do all just dog rescues. They've got a whole brand. I think it's called the Pibbles blend, and it's for pit bulls. They take the cutest photos, all of their blends. Rescue Roast is one. That one's Rescue Roast. Lovable Blend.
Look at that little dingus.
Look at that. And
look at that little dingus. Pull that up. I want to see that little dingus. Look at that little dingus. Sitting there with his tongue sticking out.
They've got little dog toys they know exactly who their target audience is. They are targeting dog owners. And they know that dog owners are going to not just buy their coffee, but they're also going to buy the mug that goes with it. And they're going to buy the dog toy that's branded with their coffee. It is just such a fun, happy brand. And look at some of these photos that they're getting from their audience. They are a brand that's able to almost not even do any work because their buyers are going to send them great photos. So it was pretty good coffee too. I recommend
for other dinguses.
Anniversary blend, all the names, camp out, all the names of the coffee.
It's like their images aren't like awfully difficult to take, Yeah. They're all very simplistic. They're just all very well done.
Exactly. It's not hard to achieve.
They recycled this one. That one's at the top of their feed too.
Yeah. That's recycle things that do well.
Yeah. If you're out of ideas and you've been posting for like a long time on Instagram, you can get away with it sometimes. Don't do it often or it's obvious. Like I don't want to take one scroll and see the same picture. See, there it is.
Yeah.
Dingus.
He's
a dingus.
But I really like I love their branding. They also have that New England kind of look about their brand. If you actually explore their website and things, I think that they've got that very clean aesthetic to them. They use a lot of the navy and cream in their branding. A lot of their actual coffee bags are in that. And attention to detail, the bottoms of the bag is done in hound's tooth, which I thought was really witty. But I highly recommend checking them out. Their coffee's pretty good if you know,
it's all right.
If you're in need of some coffee. But they donate to puppies. So puppers. Check out the puppers. All right, who do we have last? Flag
nor fail.
Flag nor fail. Okay, so the last brand is a brand that I have been obsessed with for years. I would say we're going on like 8 years now. The last brand is a fitness brand by, and I know Priscilla will know exactly who I'm talking about, by Dana Lynn Bailey and Rob Bailey. DLB won 2016's Miss Olympia for physique. She is a bodybuilder. She is fantastic. She has a very fun personality. Her and her husband, they do a lot of really cool things. They live this very extreme lifestyle. And they created a clothing company for their brand. And everything that they do is represented in their photos. They show not just the things that they sell, but they also show off themselves working out, themselves doing fun things. You're following them for the sake of them being influencers, but you're also following them to see what new products they have. And the way that they've balanced it is really cool, because usually what you see is not them just showing you a shirt to buy or showing you some leggings to buy. You see them doing something fun while wearing those clothing, where the main thing isn't buy my stuff. The main point is that here's our super cool lifestyle. Oh, we also happen to be selling this hoodie. There's another, that's a really good photo.
It is.
But they just do such a great job of capturing the lifestyle of what they're doing. They are very transparent about everything that they do. For example, this is where they're talking about how they just got their new warehouse and how they got the ground paved out. I love their brand. I love their marketing. I love their photos. I love that they utilize themselves as their models for most of their photos. They're very creative in their shots. Like this photo, this is a creative photo.
Using the headlights to over contrast the middle of the picture.
Yeah. It's very creative, but these are all just things that they're out doing. And yeah, we can't all go out on our boat or go through the mountains in our Jeep.
No, of course not. But you still have the capability to do just about anything you want, as long as you're creative enough to do it.
Exactly. So finding your thing, and this is their lifestyle. If your brand is a lifestyle brand, what type of lifestyle are your customers trying to achieve? I love Flag Nor Fail because I love their lifestyle. I would love to have their life. I would die to have this outdoorsy but super extreme fun lifestyle. That sounds so fun to me.
Yeah. And obviously they're only able to pull this off because they've got a staff of like 50 people working behind them that are able to do all the work.
Of course. But when we first started following them, it
was just the two of, well, it was them and their two friends.
Yeah, it was Rob, Dana, Rags, and I can't remember the other guy. Logan something. But they started out doing simple, not screen printing, the one where you paint, like you pull down the thing and
it's not sublimation, right? Is that it?
They basically,
I don't know enough about t-shirt printing.
They basically did like batches of 100 shirts that they hand did themselves, like with the paint over the thing. And I've still got a bunch of those tank tops, but they were able to evolve as a brand to the point now where they employ people. They've got their own warehouse where they do everything.
Let me see if
it's almost, this is one of those brands that I don't even know if you guys would be able to appreciate unless you knew where it started. But watching a brand that evolved from nothing and grew into something so absolutely astronomical with a really good message behind it, I think is really cool.
Screen printing is what everybody's saying.
Screen printing, yeah.
I was trying to get to their old stuff, but they post like 4 or 5 pictures a day on Instagram. So.
You'll never be able to scroll.
Just get our
all
faces
the way.
back on screen.
Yeah. But that's Flag Nor Fail. I love Dana Lynn Bailey. I've been following her for so many years. I wanted to be her when I was like 25, 26.
Sublimation is printed on a printer and then pressing it. Yeah, so silk screen. We got you.
All right. So, guys, these are just a couple brands that I like. This was kind of a fun, more abstract stream. We normally focus on Etsy, but I think that it's healthy for everybody to split away from Etsy a little bit.
Especially seeing this many different styles and types of brands, it gives you a better idea.
Big
Creativity.
brands.
I'm going to do this so it's not so bright.
Yeah.
There we go.
Seeing big brands and how they do things. And I mean, Aerie was probably the biggest brand, and Hendrix was probably another big one. But a lot of the brands that we looked at today weren't massive. Flag Nor Fail started out with 2 to 4 people painting designs onto shirts and doing, like super limited edition shirts and selling them and working out and sharing workout tips and then selling their fitness clothing. And they were able to turn it into a major brand. They also have a supplement company now. They've got a gym.
Yep.
When we look at some of these brands that started out really small, it might seem unachievable to you for your brand to ever get big, but it's possible. And studying brands that have done it is the best way to see what you need to do in order to get there. And don't feel that you have to do it all at once. And don't feel like you have to do exactly what they're doing. It takes time. You have to save up to buy the good camera to take the crisper photos. You've got to save up to buy all the Lightroom presets to get the filters just right. You've got to save up to get to the next level of packaging.
Yeah, but there's no rush. It's just like with starting with live streaming and stuff like that. Just do with what you got and just do it. The earlier that you got it, the earlier you'll start building that audience. Right. Don't take forever to start your branding. Don't have your brand all built and then be super behind and not have the time to start something new.
Exactly. If you guys were to go back to when we first started doing live streams, back when it was Tech Friday, and
it looked like butt.
Yeah.
And it still can get better. It's still gonna get better.
Yeah. We are constantly growing to make sure that our content gets better, and your businesses will do the exact same thing. You just have to also know where to invest your time and your money. I know that that's a hard thing for a lot of people to do when they're in a hard place. Start out investing time. Time is the first thing that you can invest, because when you're money poor, you're usually a little bit more time rich.
Yeah.
And then as you begin to get money rich, you'll find yourself getting time poor. So that's
it's not a good time to be starting a whole new marketing scheme.
That's the time when you invest in things that will make you spend less time. Yes. You can start to automate things a little bit more.
Better equipment, better cameras, better lighting. You can get actual lighting frames. You can invest in
Camera Pro.
In courses maybe that, obviously our course just closed. You can invest in like photography courses or videography courses or creativity courses. If you're an artist, maybe you could take a couple different art classes. You could take a new style, maybe a new type of drawing or a new type of painting, something that could enhance what you already have.
Exactly.
And if that makes any sense. We'll go ahead and get any questions in. If anybody has any questions, I know this is more of an informative live stream. It doesn't have to be about what we talked about here.
Yeah, if you've got general Etsy questions, feel free to
get them in there.
It would be cool to keep things like kind of around marketing,
branding and marketing. Yeah.
We always have people who say, "Oh, we want streams about social media marketing," but it's such a broad topic that there's no way that I can teach you guys how to capture the essence of your brand. The best thing that I can do for you is show you people who are already doing it. Yep. That way you can start to develop your own flow. I can't teach you how to do, I could give you all the best tips on best practices for social media, but if you don't execute them the right way, you're not going to see results. Seeing people who are doing it right and following people who are doing it right, I feel, is the very best way to learn, because you start to condition yourself to pay attention to how other brands are marketing. And that is, I think that my marketing's okay. If you guys follow me on Instagram, Starla, the letter K, more, I think that my marketing it's gotten better. it definitely hasn't always been good, but I think that the marketing that I do for HAA has gotten pretty good over the years. And it didn't used to be this good. It used to be pretty bad. But I've done that through watching what other brands are doing.
Yep.
Researching them. Nobody really does exactly what I do the way that I do it. And that's because I've taken influence from brands that didn't necessarily do courses. I didn't follow people in my industry. I started following brands that did funny things. For example, the Harmon brothers, they're the ones who do the adverts for like the Squatty Potty and Poopery and all those really funny ads, Purple Mattress. They're the ones responsible for those ads. And I really enjoy the way that they make humor out of something that would typically be a boring product, such as a mattress.
Yeah, and Tim and Eric made purple big.
Yeah. So what I did was I followed brands like that and began asking myself, how can I apply this really lighthearted fun to marketing a course? And that's kind of where a lot of my inspiration came from. And every time I launch, I have inspiration from something else. Because I'm constantly testing and experimenting. And I hope that that's something that you guys begin doing as well. What we got?
You done?
Yeah.
Okay.
My coffee's empty, and I got the big
Raven said the EDC crowd, when we were talking about the, she said it's mainly because the EDC shifted to May from October before the pandemic and the cooler in Vegas, and thus versus hot summer, the October weather. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't follow the EDC crowd anymore because every time I follow somebody famous, they end up getting in trouble for being a butthead. And Bass Nectar was like one of my favorite EDC artists, and then he got in trouble. I don't think it was actually him. It was like his producer, right?
I thought it was him.
No, I was pretty sure that it was his producer and like best friend, and he apparently knew about it and didn't do anything about it. I don't think he was actually responsible for doing anything. He was just an enabler.
We could be way off.
Way off. I don't know. Don't be a piece of crap. Be nice.
Yeah.
Be a good person. Be the best you. There we go. When I search the main keyword in my titles on eRank, other shops are ranking for it, yet when I sell more of that product than all those shops combined, I rank for the less popular keywords. Any solution? That doesn't make any sense.
What? Okay, wait a minute.
When I search for the main keyword in my titles on eRank...
Okay, so your superstar keyword.
Yeah, the keyword that they're wanting to rank for. Mm-hmm. Other shops are ranking for it, yet I sell more of that product than all of those shops combined. I rank for the less popular keywords that you're using. Any solution?
Somehow their listing quality scores are higher than yours. Listings ranked based on listing quality scores, and there are 7 factors that we know of that contribute to search ranking, and sales are just one of those 7 factors. There are a lot of other factors that could be influencing your search ranking for those listings, even if you're selling more. Positive reviews have an influence. Search location, if they have people closer to them, geographically closer, they might be getting more sales or ranking, for those areas. There's no real way to tell. We have no idea how the algorithm works aside from what Etsy tells us. And Etsy tells us about 7 of the factors that contribute to our search ranking that help to build our listing quality scores. Recency, relevancy, sales, your good standing with Etsy, which is like, if you've had bad reviews, that can hurt. Your overall customer and marketplace experience score, that's the sum total of all of your listing quality scores together, all of your negative reviews and things. But really there's no way to tell. All I can say is not to overanalyze your competitors too much. Ranking works in very mysterious ways. Sometimes Etsy changes things. Sometimes Etsy experiments with things. I know that Etsy is performing a lot of tests right now. Keep an eye on it, but don't spend too much time over analyzing what is going on with your competitors, especially if you're doing well too. If you're making sales, then obviously you're being found in search. And that's really what matters most. If you're making more sales than them, but your rank is lower, I don't give a hell about rank if I'm making sales, right? If they're not making as many sales as you, that should just be a ha 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 ha, because they're probably looking at you thinking, man, we're ranking above her, but she's still making more sales than us. So it sounds like on the two ends of the spectrum right now, you have the better end, where you're the one who's making sales, even though you're ranking a little bit lower. Who knows why they're ranking higher? But if they're not making sales, then you're still winning in the end, I think. So I have a pretty unrelated question. I can't ship to the US at the moment. Shipping is expensive, so I wanted to target the UK more. Problem is, I've never been. Any tips on how to get a country, its vibe and values generally? Talk to people who live there. There's no way to really target people in the US when it comes to the algorithm. Obviously, you're going to show in search for people who are geographically closer than you. Where are you shipping from? You said you're not shipping internationally, but you're trying to target the UK. So where are you located? Their question was down. I think that your best bet would be to talk to people who live there. Go into the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. That's free to join if you're not a member already. And say, hey, I've got some questions for people in the UK. I'm trying to capture your vibe. And keep in mind, there is no universal vibe for the UK, just like there's no universal vibe for the US. We're not all waving our American flags and driving our monster trucks and that's not all of the US, but it definitely is some of it. Then there is the part of the US that had that New England look that we were showing you. There's part of the US that, like Louisiana, where, the culture is its own. It is its own thing. I would first narrow down what type of people from the UK you want to target, and then talk to people from the UK who can help you kind of capture the atmosphere. Post in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. Lucy's in the UK. Amber Marie's in the UK. We've got tons of alphas in the UK who I'm sure would be more than happy to give you some feedback.
Has anyone here used Canva Pro for scheduling Instagram posts? Does it work well? Have you used it at all?
Not for scheduling. I can try it and see how it goes. I usually do my posts all by hand. I read somewhere that the algorithm tends to identify when a post is like scheduled in the moment or posted in the moment versus scheduled out. So a lot of my Instagram posts I all do in the moment. Facebook I schedule. Instagram I post by hand. But I can try it and let you know if it works.
Do you have any tips for approaching customers to use their social media photos for advertising? Honestly, just ask them.
Yeah.
Send them a message. Be as polite as possible. Hey,
we love your photo. We wanted to ask permission. Would you mind if we shared your photo on our social media? We would be more than happy to tag you and send you some followers, but we really love this photo and we'd love to be able to show it to more people.
I'm looking forward to go to develop a logo for my shop. Any advice?
Yeah, there's a lot of places you could go. I used to recommend Fiverr, but we actually had some alphas tell me to stop recommending Fiverr because apparently they're really bad to their artists. They don't pay them nearly enough for their work.
Really?
Yeah, they hardly get any of the money. Fiverr takes a big percentage. There are graphic designers on Etsy. If you post in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, I know that we've got some graphic designers in there who do logo commissions. It just depends on your price point and who you want to work with. Fiverr, you could find a super cheap one if you really wanted to. But I know that there are also plenty of graphic designers on Etsy. Does Upwork do things like that as well? And if you want to directly support an alpha, try the Handmade Alpha Facebook community.
Yeah.
That might be a really good way to find somebody who's, closer to home and support one of our fellow alphas.
Question: for mock-ups with images placed on products, watermarking to protect artwork, what do you suggest for the best way to protect the artwork and still keep the mock-up clean and crisp?
That's a hard one. It's almost like you have to pick the lesser of the two evils, and only you can decide what that is, because I don't like seeing a mock-up with a big watermark across it while I'm shopping. I'm actually turned off by that. But I also know that there is the risk of your artwork being stolen. You have to make a choice for yourself. I would try to keep the watermarks faint.
Yeah, sure.
That way they're not distracting from the product, but also keep in mind that anybody who's skilled enough with Photoshop is going to be able to remove pretty much any watermark anyway.
Yeah.
I even thought about one time doing it as an example, but then I felt like it would show people.
Yeah, we don't
want to show you how easy it is to remove a watermark, because we don't want somebody random to watch the video and see it. We have done it though. I've shown alphas like how easy it is. I've had somebody, send me a photo and say, "Hey, I've watermarked this," and I'm like, "Hey, look how quick I got rid of that watermark." It's very easy to remove them. If somebody wants your image bad enough, they're going to steal it. That's the unfortunate thing. So it's one of those really crappy situations when it comes to doing print on demand graphic design work. You kind of just have to pick what way you want to go. Do you want to risk somebody stealing it? And if not, do you want to risk somebody not buying it because there's a watermark over it and it's skewed their perception? There's no right or wrong way to go about it, though. I would just look at what other people in your industry are doing and pick the method that looks the cleanest to you.
Yeah. And you already got Charlie's question. Right. All right. We're almost out of questions. People get your questions in. Priscilla, we don't associate with him anymore, so can't really talk about it. Check out Pinterest and type in the UK version of whatever you want to see and what aesthetics they have and build your brand around that.
Yeah.
If you look on Tumblr and type in logo design, you can find many great artists who do logos at many great prices, and you want to talk to the right artist and not have third party involved. Yeah, anytime you can just do it just straight from the hand of the artist, that's the best case scenario.
People will steal even with watermarks. Yeah.
There are YouTube videos on how to remove watermarks. Yeah, sadly there are. See, that's the thing. I mean, if you're selling designs that you're selling for, like, I keep having to click in here because it's making it lag for some reason. If you're selling designs that are like $50 or $60, people will do that. But if you're selling like $5 designs like on the creative market, I wouldn't worry too much about people trying to remove the watermark. It's probably not worth the effort to sit for an hour and a half to remove the watermark from a $5 image. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think at that point they would just buy it from you. But if it's like a art print, like something where, you're buying like a print and they're using a mock-up or a card or something where there's a photo of it, but it would be easy to like save the photo and then steal the design off of it, I can see that being really rough. Just keep in mind that you can report these people to Etsy if they steal your designs. Etsy is pretty good about removing shops that steal designs from other shops because that's your intellectual property. And if you can prove that you listed it before they did, then
and some people saying just make sure your files are low resolution online.
That's true, yeah.
And also showing them in use. That's another good way to do it. If you're selling bundles of multiples and you take the images, make them lower resolution, and then put the multiples on different spots without making it look too hectic, then they won't be able to, even if they, without a watermark, if they were to blow it up, it'll pixelate the crap out of it. So.
Yeah, like a print on a wall. Where you've got also, there's like a couch down below and a plant or something, and then the picture is just on the wall behind the couch. But if they were to save it and try to blow it up at a size that they would need to steal it to sell
it'll look like booty.
Yeah, it'll be all blurry.
And you can de-blur images, but there's only so much you can do with anti-aliasing to flat text. So or flat images.
All right.
We're not getting any more questions in. I'm assuming that means nobody has any questions. We'll give it like 2 more minutes, and then we'll do our end spiel, and then we'll get out of here.
Get out of here?
Get out of here.
Where are we going?
I don't know. Probably go eat.
We're going to go eat?
Hopefully. Ooh. I don't know. My smoke machines are here. I want to play with those. They're so big.
Oh, guys, for anybody who lives in the Ohio area, just a heads up that if you want to hang out with me on August 6th and listen to Mark's band, he's going to be playing at the Brightside event venue in Dayton.
Yep, Brightside event venue in Dayton, it's right off of 35. I
Yeah.
forget the exit, but it's right off of 35.
I'm going to be probably running a merch table and doing photography, but in between that, I would really like somebody to stand with and hang out. So if you guys actually want to hang out with us in a casual environment that's really fun, listen to Mark's band play.
Shoot me an email. I can get you a ticket.
Yeah,
we got plenty of tickets.
We got tickets. I
just bought some professional smoke machines, not like the little like drugstore $20 smoke machines. These bad boys will fill a whole house up with smoke with a blast. So it's gonna be pretty cool. We're gonna have some pretty cool lights, and it's gonna be a fun little party.
I would really love to meet some alphas because I've met a lot of alphas. We've met at events that I've done and public speaking events, but I never feel like I get to just hang out. I'm always busy. I'm stressed because I have to present. I would love to be able to sit down. Maybe, like I said, we don't really drink, but I'll have a drink with you guys. If you come hang out with us, I'll have a drink with you, and we can listen to Mark play guitar. And
yeah, I won't be able to hang out much.
Yeah.
I have to network and be the fun guy at the show, so I won't be able to hang out too much. Plus, I got to carry like hundreds of pounds worth of equipment all over the place.
But I'll hang out with you. I need some people to stand with.
So cool. I'm from Michigan. Well, feel free to drive down. I can't promise that a drive from Michigan will be worth seeing me play, but anybody's welcome to come out. I got plenty of tickets.
He casually jumps on a plane to Ohio. Amber is.
Amber is.
She's casually jumping on a plane.
All right. Well, we haven't had any questions in, so we'll go ahead and cut it. If you haven't, I wish Ohio was closer to Florida. It's not.
It's not.
It's not. It's pretty far away. Anyway, like the video if you haven't already. We only got 42 likes. I think this was a pretty interesting topic. What's your band called again? The Rendering Silence.
Yeah.
You can find us on Facebook, and you can follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, I've been, for those who don't know, I do all their social media marketing. So if you want to see yet another business that I do marketing for, and you want to see a whole different branding style, you can follow them on Instagram and check out The Rendering Silence. I run so many brand pages.
You do. You have quite a few brand pages.
I run E-Rank's brand page. I run The Rendering Silence's brand page. I run mine, Starla, our brand page. I run the channel, which is a book I'm writing. I'm doing marketing for that for a slow build up because that book will be done soon. I've got a brand page for Aerie, for the dog.
Mm-hmm.
We run Alpha Adapt. All the things, guys. All the things.
Headband sellers on Etsy most often use a baby or lady in the profile picture instead of just the headband. Wouldn't a cute baby wearing a headband attract more customers than just a product photo?
It could.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was a nice photo.
It's totally up to you.
I don't think that I don't think that when I'm looking at a photo, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to buy this because the baby's cute. I'm going to buy it because I'm like, wow, this baby's head kind of looks like my baby's head. Or I can picture what this would look like on my baby's head. My thought wouldn't be this baby is cute. I'm going to buy it because the baby's cute. But it might be able to help me visualize it on my own baby. Therefore, I might buy the product for that reason. But yeah, if you can get a baby model, if you've got friends with babies, offer them a free headband. Might be a fun way to... We totally had our daughter, when she was born, like, we had a photographer who did free photo shoots for us, newborn shoots, because she wanted a newborn for her portfolio, and she didn't have a newborn yet. Yep. And we were just like, yeah, you can borrow our newborn for photos, and we just stood around her little studio while she took pictures of Taylor.
Have you ever thought to stream your band? Yeah, the needs for that are quite a lot more than what you would think for something like that. Like multiple cameras, the interfaces and things cost thousands of dollars. Having a venue that you can actually do it in that won't sound like crap. Like
I could stream it from my phone, but it would sound awful.
It would sound like butt. Like we could technically direct input all of our instruments and do all of that stuff over a live stream, but It would cost quite a bit. I mean, I've got a lot of the equipment already, but it would cost a pretty astounding amount of money. A lot of the times when you see bands perform live, they performed in a venue with multiple cameras, and then they take that and they take the live without editing it, and then they'll just push that live. That way, if there's any issues, they can redo songs and stuff like that. Because you can't stop a band in the middle of a performance to fix live stream issues. A lot of the times it's not actually live. They do sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway. Do you still sell your keys?
As of right now, I do not. If you watch my video from a couple months ago called Swarovski Discontinued, that kind of goes more into it. Basically, for those of you who rely on Swarovski crystals and components, those will be completely discontinued for DIY and crafting by September, which means that by September, you can no longer use the name Swarovski in your listings. You cannot use it in your tags. And you will not be able to buy them anymore for DIY. And if you do see them available, it's just until the businesses that are selling them completely run out of stock.
Yeah.
Swarovski crystal was the main component that we used in our keys. It was our biggest selling point, and now those crystals are discontinued. A lot of you guys have sent me alternatives. We're still trying to decide what we're going to do with that brand. I think that ultimately we will probably do limited releases and things like that for our audience, because we do have over 25,000 people who follow that brand. But it's not going to be what it once was, where
we just don't have the time.
Exactly. But we do have another Etsy shop, AlphaDapt. That's down below. That's going to help us to still be able to run our crazy, wacky SEO experiments and things, and be able to, exercise marketing of a physical product. So feel free to check out AlphaDapt as well. We're just not entirely sure what we're going to do with Art by Starla more. I do have a very strong attachment to that brand just because I've been running it for 9 years now. I've got one of my keys tattooed on my arm.
Yeah.
It's
a big part of our lives, but the alphas have kind of taken over that, and we enjoy doing this more.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we like having the brand, we like having the raving fans and stuff for the key business, but we can't sit and work on 2 businesses for 30 hours a week. We can't sit and do a release and sit for 2 weeks straight, 16 hours a day packing keys, and also run this business. It's just not
3 businesses, because we work for E-Rank as well.
Yeah, we also work for E-Rank. It's not feasible. Small releases, small launches, that's totally doable, but it's just with just the 2 of us, it's not worth it. And with the key business, with the kind of glass ceiling that we're at, it just doesn't. Hiring somebody full time wouldn't do it, because we already only launched once a quarter anyway.
Yeah, we did have my dad was helping to make the keys, and
it was just kind of an unreliable way to do it.
Yeah, we struggled a lot to scale it. It got very, very hard. If it was my only focus, which is why I recommend, like a lot of you guys say, hey, I'm thinking about starting another shop. I want to have 5 shops. I'm like, that's...
You might be able to get away with it if you're a digital seller.
Yeah, but if you're hand making everything, it's very hard.
It's just not feasible. It's not feasible to have multiple successful physical shops.
If I would have focused on just Art by Starla more and never done anything else, and the alphas hadn't have formed, I have no doubt in my mind that Art by Starla Moore could have turned into a massive empirical brand. But now...
We talked about buying a warehouse and actually like forging the metals and stuff by hand and doing all... And we totally could have done that. We could have started working with like real precious metals and doing like real like several $1,000 items. But
and if we did that, we wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here. No, there's no way.
We would not... The alphas would not have been. And for those who don't know, since we're finishing up and there's only a few of you here right now... for those who don't know, the reason that the alphas came to be was because I started a YouTube channel where I just kind of shared a couple tips here and there about Etsy success and my Etsy story. And that little channel blew up into what you guys see here. I started trying to do webinars and, share photo editing tips and things like that. And then you guys started messaging me and emailing me and asking me if I would do shop critiques, or if you could pay for me to coach you personally and walk you through a product launch. And at first, I just kind of ignored those messages. I'm like, I'm not interested in that. I don't want your money. And then it got to the point where it was 10 to 20 messages a day of people asking me. And when I heard that many people, I was like, okay, how can I make this possible? How can I don't have the hours to coach all of these people. What can I do to make this scalable so that I can still have a life and still be able to do what I love and still be able to offer free advice? So I took what would I normally do if I was doing a full-on coaching session with somebody or a month-long like coaching boot camp. I took all of that and I recorded it. And I put it in this thing called the Handmade Alpha Academy. So that's why HAA happened. That is my way of scaling what I couldn't do as a singular person so that I can continue being an Etsy seller. I can continue working for erank.com. I can continue managing the social media for his band. And I'm writing a fantasy novel that I'm talking about getting. I was going to self-publish, but now I'm thinking about getting it actually conventionally published.
So it doesn't take away from our actual job. We don't have to do any of it. Because if she ends up doing very well as a self-publisher, that's just another whole brand that we got to take care of.
Yeah. And we're also parents.
Yeah. that's another full-time friggin' job that you got to add on top of it. Y'all get it. Anyway, enough talking about ourselves. What was the social media brand you run? Raving?
What?
My band, The Rendering Silence.
Social media brand you run?
We don't run any social media.
I said that I have a raving following over at Art by Starla Moore. We've got, I think, 25,000 fans on Facebook over there. But because the brand hasn't moved since last holiday season, there's nothing going on over there.
What are your thoughts on when it's a good idea to have separate shops for different products that I sell? Farmhouse style, small home decor, and personalized sublimated gifts. Smart to sell together.
I would have to see the brand.
It would have to, yeah. It needs to be a cohesive theme if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah. Finding something that brings the brands together. Is there a glue there that makes them fit together? That's that. And it doesn't need to be the same exact product. The theme, the message, the target customer just needs to be the same.
Just for the crafting market, I was going to say I always see their stores doing good at the mall. Yeah, it's just the crafting market.
Yes.
The actual brand isn't going anywhere. And if you're confused about it, we're just as confused because there are thousands of Etsy sellers. And not just Etsy, eBay sellers are sellers all over the world. They've got to be in the 100,000 people that buy from them for their crafting supplies. It makes no sense whatsoever. Unless it's literally putting them in the red because of what they're doing. But I doubt it. They're literally cutting off a whole revenue stream.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the reasoning is.
I'm waiting to see them potentially go bankrupt for this decision.
I'm thinking maybe it's because of COVID, particularly because malls and stuff weren't really open, and that's where they made most of their money. And they're probably not making as much off of the other side, so they're just trying to focus on pushing their jewelry out.
It came out as really pretentious, though.
It did. It came out really, really pretentious.
They were like, we're too good for crafters to put our name on their little jewelry. We're too good for that. So you guys are no longer allowed to use our stones and our name, which, whatever. It's their business.
Yeah, that's what Crappy Crafter said. Greedy Swarovski, they want to be exclusive. Maybe it could be. They might have even had a company that also sells those particular gemstones buy exclusivity rights to use it on their jewelry. That's all. That's a thing that happens in the video game industry. It happens in tons of industries where people will buy exclusivity rights, where we can only buy your product for X amount of years, and we'll give you X billion dollars for it. That happens. What did you say about making glitter products on Etsy? Can't remember. I don't think we ever said anything specifically about glitter products, but if you're going to use glitter, use, if you can, biodegradable. Something that isn't going to destroy the ocean anymore.
Yeah, we haven't said anything about glitter today, but we have in the past said that that glitter is a very small microplastic that does not degrade.
It just ends up in the ocean or in lakes, and it destroys habitats.
Yeah. If you use glitter in your products using a biodegradable glitter, or putting the glitter in, like, for example, the people who do the tumblers, but it's sealed in resin, like, as long as you're being careful about how you're disposing of your extra glitter and it's not just floating around in the air.
Etsy copyright infringement experience. I've had multiple issues with copyright infringement on Etsy. You have to provide proof of copyright. I sued Etsy and received a settlement from them.
Dang, Jan, that's...
Goodness me.
Wow.
I mean, if you truly own the rights to something and Etsy takes it down and you can prove that it was truly yours,
good on you.
Good on you.
Good on you for pursuing.
Good on you for sticking to your guns. It'd be awesome if you went to a publisher. They do so much for you and get you in Barnes & Noble and all the good spots. That was my thinking, is that without a publisher, we're not going to be able to get it anywhere. Amazon does on-demand publishing. Yeah, we were looking into that.
I might, Amber Marie's doing some of my editing, but I might ask you guys in a couple months if any of you are actually professional copy editors, like as a career, because I need a structural editor. I need somebody to come in and fix some sentences and actually not just look for punctuation, but actually tie up loose ends and make sure that things make sense. So
Jan said, I'm asking questions. No, you're not. There's not a single question from you in our feed. Unless you're saying the word Instagram, which is blocked on our channel.
Yeah, we had to block the word Instagram.
We had to block almost every instance of it. I wish we could separate that out for our chat. But I guess not, because our chat would probably be full of bots too.
Yeah.
I have 1 to 2 week lead time in my listings, and shipping time 1 to 2 weeks. In conversation email, Etsy shows 0 to 2 weeks. Where can I fix this? Like the automated thing, Etsy will say a specific time, but they have a different time listed.
I don't think that there's anything that you can do about it. I think that's a common issue that sellers have had, and we've been griping about it for a long time. Your best bet would be to message Etsy and give feedback. If Etsy gets enough feedback about an issue, they start to listen. If only one person complains, they tend to not listen to us. If a lot of people complain, they listen a little bit better.
Usually if the person who stole your art, or if you message the person that stole your art, that scares them enough that they're usually young. Yeah, that's true. Guys, if I may, I have a question about the new reserve funds policy. Do you know about if adding tracking releases funds?
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I'm not actually. We're not up to date on that yet.
New reserve funds policies. Was that brought up for non-US shops? Because I have not even the slightest clue. Feel free to explain in the comments.
That makes more sense. Lennox did that suddenly. That's why I got laid off, due to Macy's and other small companies weren't doing well. Yeah, a lot of those companies aren't doing super great. What do you suggest to do if I start seeing that my competitor is directly copying and pasting my titles, which has a specific name of the item?
Even if they directly copy and paste your titles, it's not going to... They could copy your exact title, your exact tags, and your exact photos and not rank beside you. You have a listing quality score. They do not. You cannot stop them from taking your titles. You could message them and say, hey, I noticed that you are taking my titles. I would appreciate if you didn't do that anymore. But unfortunately, there's not anything that you could technically do to stop them, unfortunately.
You can keep talking. They can't hear this at all.
Okay. There's nothing that you could technically do to stop them other than make them aware that it's happening.
I wanted to look up what she was talking about.
The reserve payment.
The new reserve payment policy from February. It's for all new shops. Yeah, we haven't heard about it. I just sent myself a Facebook message so I could look into it. I saw Etsy change their fees again. Why does that not surprise me even remotely? Luna Publishing is a small publisher, but the owner has all the connections. I'd check her out. I went to school with her. She's also a huge environment advocate and a cool person. All right, we'll check it out. I had somebody copy my exact item description word for word. When I messaged her, she quoted Mark Twain at me, and I wanted to murder her. There's no such thing as a new idea.
Yeah. And and unfortunately, like I said, I don't know if Etsy's going to, I mean, you could report the listing, you could message Etsy, but I don't know if if they were copying a product, that would be one thing, but copying a description, I don't know if Etsy would do anything. I know that's frustrating.
It's reserving payments if your shop got quote unquote flagged for undisclosed factors for up to 45 days. For me, it's 75% now. So are they withholding 75% of your funds for being flagged for something? I don't particularly know if they can do that. That's wild.
Yeah, let us look into it.
Yeah, let me look into it a little bit more, and we'll check on it. I have tracking with all mine, and I always get my money the next day. It's for new sellers and was for sellers who have a horrible track record for shipping on time. It tends to release if you add tracking. Oh, okay. So they're not paying. They're not allowing you to take funds for products you haven't shipped yet. Gotcha.
Yeah, because 2020, thousands of people joined Etsy out of nowhere, and a lot of them. I mean, I ordered a shirt for him on Etsy, and I went and looked at it and went to see if they'd shipped it, and the shop was shut down. And I'd already given them money, but there was no shop. There was no way to contact the shop. The shop was gone because it had been shut down. So I had to report the transaction. Remember?
Yeah. Which is kind of crappy. Etsy should be on that.
Yeah.
Etsy's not perfect, y'all. I mean, you got to consider how big their audience is. Like, there's quite a few sellers and there's quite a few purchasers. So sometimes things slip through the cracks. It's happened to me on Amazon too. It's not just Etsy. The bigger a company is, the more things are going to slip. Have you tried calling? Oh, okay. Didn't your website get stolen once? This was a long time ago. I think like Art by Starla.
Yeah, so
it wasn't stolen.
So my domain got hijacked.
It wasn't particularly that either. It's just we didn't own it yet.
No, what happened was when Art by Starla got big, starlamore.com, I wanted that domain, and I went to buy the domain, but I had noticed that somebody had already purchased the domain, and they were holding it hostage, which is a common thing that people do. If they notice that your brand is getting big, if they find you, they'll go and buy the domain associated with your brand before you can buy it. And then they'll charge astronomical amounts of money for it. Yeah, so somebody bought starlamore.com and was selling it for $5,000 or something stupid like that. Yeah. And you don't even have that. They have to have that big of a following. People just look for you. Yeah, because they think that they can make money. So if you have got a brand name, go buy your domain. Even if you're not going to use it, to have a website, buy your domain so no one can steal it. Because you might want it someday. But don't let it lapse, because you don't just own a domain forever. You have to keep. They'll wait. They'll see what they will buy it seconds after it expires. Like no joke. But long story short, I did some work for Anthony Wolf before I worked for Anthony officially, and I wouldn't accept payment from him because I did it as a friend-to-friend thing, and he surprised me by buying the domain for me. Yeah. So I do own it now. I haven't. If you go to starlamore.com, nothing will come up because I don't have a website or anything for it. But I do own it now, thankfully. Yeah. I paid for like 10 years. Yeah, and if your brand ends up blowing up after somebody buys your domain out from under you, the bigger you get, the more they're going to ask for it. Yep. Somebody did that. You remember that? That happened to Google, as a matter of fact. Somebody bought Google. Yeah. It expired, and the dude was watching it, and it was only expired for like 5 minutes, and he went in and bought it. And Google, of course, having some of the best lawyers on the planet, like, just immediately threw it out to him, like, you're going to give us our thing back, and we're not going to pay for it. I think they gave him his $5 back. Like, they paid the $5. I think it was like $5 or $10 he ended up paying for the Google domain. Yeah, it was really funny. I think it's happened to Google twice now. I don't even think it's the first time. It's happened to several big websites. Go buy your domain. and we found, if this ever ends up happening to you, if you have the money for a really good lawyer, you can win, because technically, it's illegal for them to do that.
It's a sharking thing, but it's one of those things where it rides a gray line where it's illegal, but it's not illegal if you've got a good enough lawyer. So
Well, we found that to be the case if it had your personal name in it.
yes, if it has your personal name, like with her starlamore.com. And I actually contacted the company and I sent them the like law, and they're like, "Well, do you have a copyright on your name?" And we're like, "You don't have to have a copyright on your own name to own your name. That's pretty stupid."
But they didn't back down.
They didn't back down. They were like, "Yeah, we'll fight you if you want to do it." And we're like, "Okay, I guess we'll just wait till we can afford it." So yeah, if you got a good lawyer, go for it. Let's see. I steeply offer 30% for my VIPs, but I'm lowering that to 20 for future VIPs. My OG fans will be grandfathered in, but should I announce the change to them?
Just to your OGs? Yeah, totally. If you send them a little heads up, be like, "Hey, you guys are super special. You're all grandfathered in with this VIP discount." Just make sure that they're the only ones who know about it. I wouldn't put it all over social media because future fans might be like, "Oh man," But current fans, if you've already got them on your VIP list, yeah, totally.
I want to add tracking options to my shop. Just got an international order today, and hey, the international orders have to default no tracking for Art of Wear. What?
Huh?
Well, I get the policy. I was freaking because I only had 2 sales have policies ship exclusively with tracking, so it freaked me out when they said 75% would be held for 45 days.
Ooh.
I'm assuming it'll be released if you ship the product, like if you put tracking on it. If most of my sales are coming from ads, what's that telling me? That most of your sales are coming from ads.
I mean, you're making sales. That's good. It means that if most of your sales are coming from ads, it means that people probably aren't really finding you as much organically in the marketplace. I would look at the listings that are selling, because if they're selling from ads, that means that you've probably done some decent keyword optimization. A listing with no keyword optimization it's not going to do well as an ad. Those are good listings. If you've got listings that you don't have ads running for that aren't selling, maybe work on your keyword optimization there. There are a million reasons why that could be happening. I wouldn't take it as a bad thing though. If you're making sales, then that's great.
That's
the
all
ads,
that matters.
Right. The ads are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Oh, mine too from Wix. I didn't contact them, laid low, and we watched and got it back.
Good.
See, that's the goal. Like if it happens to you, if your business relies on the website, I would fight it. But if it doesn't, that's one thing that you can do. You can kind of back off and watch and wait for it to expire and hope that in a year when it expires, unless they buy it for 3 years, and then yeah, keep it on auto renew. Yeah, that's a possibility with some of them. Totally add tracking options, because who knows what will happen with the policy. I saw an e-commerce Bytes article that they might apply this to everybody in the future. They're trying to keep the customers and the sellers safe. At the end of the day, there have been multiple times where I've ordered something from Etsy from like what looked like a reputable shop and waited like 3 months for it to get out of their shop, even though they said it would only take them like a month. We understand that stuff happens, but this happens frequently, especially when like there are 4 million sellers on Etsy, but
over that now.
Yeah, over that. But how many are actually active? It's still over 1 million sellers that are active. There's probably a few thousand shops that don't run their shops very well. That just happens. It's natural. So they're trying to protect the buyers, because at the end of the day, you're selling stuff and making them money, but the buyers are the ones giving them the money, right? The buyers are the ones giving them we pay for listings and stuff like that, but the buyers are the ones giving them the biggest portion of cash.
Crappy Crafter, we'll see you tomorrow? No.
Oh, God, no.
Ready for a nap.
No.
She also wants to know our new shop name. It's linked down below.
It's linked down below. AlphaDapt.
AlphaDapt. So AlphaDapt. AlphaDapt. And we sell stuff with the Alpha logo. We're going to have a Friday Bean collection coming up pretty soon, too. So be sure to follow us. What else we got? Couple people.
Oh, yeah. And I will be building my new computer rig starting tomorrow. I got to shut this one off and let it power down for a day. So if for some reason we're not streaming next Friday, it's because something went wrong. But more than likely, it'll be fine.
They're going to be on hibernation mode. Chelsea had asked...
What?
we're going to be in hibernation mode.
Yeah.
Chelsea had asked, what's the easiest way to buy my domain? I did kind of just pursue through Google how to do that because I wanted a domain email. I prefer Google domains. They're my favorite. You can get your domain email set up directly through your G Suite. Google domains, everything's already connected. I prefer Google domains. GoDaddy, you can get domains pretty cheap. I mean, really,
I think you can buy I think SiteGround will do it too. I think you can buy them through SiteGround.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That's where we do all of our site stuff through.
I buy all my domains through Google domains though.
Yeah.
It's, GoDaddy does like their $1.99 domain deal every once in a while. But when I did that, I bought a cheap domain just for a one-time webinar. I bought the domain free Etsy webinar.
Yep.
Only needed it for a month. Paid $1.99, was gonna check out, and then they were like, "Oh, do you want to pay the $18.99 insurance?" And I was like, "No, I only need it for a month. I don't need the insurance." Biggest mistake of my life. That was around 4 years ago. They because we didn't opt for the insurance, our information was sold, which apparently that was some fine print that I wasn't aware of, and now
we still to this day I get like 10 spam calls every other day.
Yeah,
I get like usually I don't even have my phone down here anymore. I usually get like one every couple of hours during the day hours. Occasionally I'll get one of the really, really crappy ones that'll call me at like 11:30 at night for some reason because I have a California phone number, and that's like 9:30 or 8:30, whatever it is there.
Yeah. So if you use GoDaddy, don't skip the insurance.
If you go with Daddy, don't skip. If you go with Daddy,
go
with Daddy. Get the insurance.
Google domains was my favorite. There's YouTube videos too that'll walk you through the process. We also teach that in HAA. I walk through the whole process in HAA.
I love how we distracted them with questions to stay. We'll normally stay until 2, but sometimes people just aren't very talkative. We gotta like coerce them into talking. And we've been streaming for a week, so we're not very good at it. I totally get the implemented the policy. It just came as a surprise. I don't know what I did wrong. If you're a newer shop, if you just recently started selling, it might just be because you're new and they don't know if they can trust you yet. If they're doing it for all new shops.
Ooh, Ginger said that she only does Google domains because the privacy is included and others charge for it.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Namecheap for my domain registrars. June 23rd started new fees and payment policy. How much is a Google domain?
It depends on the domain. I think usually they're only like around $15, and then you got to pay to renew them. I just bought a domain on Google Domains I bought explorethechannel.com.
Yeah.
Because my book, The Channel, I'm working on that, and obviously thechannel.com was taken probably by a news station. So I bought explorethechannel.com, and I believe that I paid around $15 for it. But you can also get like a .net, a .store. I recommend always getting the .com. That is the top tier is the .com. I know that .store and .co, those sound cute. When people look up your brand, they're going to search your brand name .com. They don't think to search .store. So always go for the .com.
Yeah, if you can. Good place to buy watermark and trademark? ?
Watermark?
I don't know. Most people just make them.
Yeah, just
make it transparent of your logo, and then if you want, some people do like clear lines and stuff across. Just make sure the transparency is high enough that it doesn't totally destroy the image. People remember .coms are the more than other dots. Yeah, they
exactly.
do. Keep images on listings low quality resolution and small size. Use a pixel setting under 100 dpi. These images will print poorly and still look great to customers. Yeah.
Good tips.
Exactly.
Good tips.
All right, we'll go ahead and call it. It's 2 o'clock. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified when we go live. Make sure you got the mobile app installed so you actually get notified when we go live. And
we're so tired.
Yes, it was a great launch. It was our best June launch yet. We have so many new students.
We love you guys.
And we love you guys. So many great people.
We'll HAA students, for those of you who just joined, keep in mind that Saturday and Sundays we are off, but we will be working through the group today, answering your questions. Please be patient with your E-Rank memberships. We are working through those. They take some time. If you get billed for E-Rank because your billing period comes around before we get your plan switched over, just keep in mind that you will be refunded. I don't want you guys to panic and think that we forgot you.
No, we don't. That's totally out of our control. You'll get refunded if you get charged, though. No biggie.
Anthony's a cool guy, but he's only one person and there's a lot of you. So he's got to work through you very slowly, one by one. Other than that, guys, have a fantastic weekend. Be safe and
drink some water.
And drink some
water. Call your mom. Call a relative you haven't talked to in a while. Tell them you love them.
Kiss your dog.
Kiss your dog.
And your kitty.
Give your kitties a boop on the nose for me.
Bye, guys.
We love you guys. Bye-bye.